swim behind your back and go out in the blaze if you got to. Otherwise, you might as well be dead your damn self.
I have a whole energy that represents not just black youth, but white youth, Mexican youth, you know what I'm saying? That change right before you go from being 18 and unresponsible to when you go to being like 21, 22, and the whole world's on your shoulders. I believe strongly that my audience empathize with me because I show that side. I show that emotion, raw, uncut, good and bad. And so I think I can bring that more funnel, more directed into screenplays, more albums, producing, managing, you know what I'm saying? If I can figure out just how to control it.
Tupac loved acting. Here he is in a wig, impersonating Rick James.
Whether I'm bald-headed or I got hair to my knees, I still rush any one of you tricks out there. It's still West Side Outlaw no matter.
Donald said Tupac easily had the range to do Shakespeare. Here he is doing one of his favorite characters, Scarface.
And you, Mr. Cameron, you say hello to my big friend. Juan Corleone, okay? I will break your fucking balls all over this fucking time. Don't fucking play me, okay, man? What's so funny, right? Huh? What's your name? Huh? What's your name, right?
Cameraman, dude.
Cameraman?
That's right.
You wanna talk? Huh? You wanna work for me?
Yeah, man.
Huh? Okay, you come down tomorrow and talk to man. You got a job, man. You got a job, man. Anyway, back. You wanna work for me?
Yeah, man.
Huh? Okay, you come down tomorrow and talk to man. You got a job, man. You got a job, man. Anyway, back. Hands in the air.
Everyone said there were two sides to Tupac, the wonderful side and the not so wonderful. Suge Knight's influence brought out the worst. Tupac now started to wage a war against Biggie. That's Mo Premium White trying to control Tupac. Tupac was losing control.
That's my new style. Hey, have a good summer. Have a good summer, biatch!
Tupac became obsessed with the idea that Biggie had tried to kill him.
While I'm in jail, strangers is telling me, yo, you don't know? Biggie homeboy shot you. Because they bragging, they telling they in jail. Yo, we just got popped, woo, woo, woo. And that's why what I'm doing, I know what I'm doing. I'm destroying them. I'm destroying them.
Biggie. Russell believes that Tupac's murder was organized by Suge Knight to look like a gang killing between the Crips and the Pyrus, also known as the Bloods. It was the night of the Tyson fight at the MGM in Las Vegas. Here he is being congratulated by Tupac and Suge Knight. Biggie and Tupac always used to hang out together. Biggie's last album sold over 10 million copies. This is Tupac. He made $80 million in sales in just 1 year. It was the occasion of Puffy's birthday in 1994. And if you look really closely, you'll see the rarest of footage of Biggie and Tupac hugging on the edge of stage. Biggie and Tupac were street buddies. Biggie called Tupac Duke. Tupac called Biggie Christopher. And it was just round the corner Biggie first started rapping.
Find no replacement for Tupac yet. As soon as God finds a replacement for Tupac, I'm gone, but until he do, I'll be here doing what he want me to do.
Pac is a strong dude, yo. I know dude, you know what I'm saying? Right. He real strong. So when they was like, he got shot, I was just more like, again? You know what I'm saying? He always getting shot or shot at. He gonna pull through this one again, make a few records about it, and it's gonna be over, you know what I'm saying? But when he died, I was just like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? It kind of took me by. I mean, even though we was going through our drama, I would never wish death on nobody, you know what I'm saying? Because ain't no coming back from that.
When I sat in that prison cell up in New York City, all I could think about was California and how much I love California and Sunset Boulevard and Crenshaw and Long Beach, everything just, oh man, the 101, the 110, everything. I just love California. Roscoe's, El Polo Loco, Taco Bell, everything. I love California. That's all I thought about. I used to have a homie send me pictures of just California, just the streets and stuff. So when I came out and Dre had this beat in the song, I was like, this is the song for me. California love. I want to put California back on the map because the East Coast like screaming out West New York, and they're kind of like disrespecting the West Coast. So I'm gonna put it back down to the West Coast to show like we ain't really tripping off, you know, hip hop or really nothing. Not me personally. I'm gonna speak for myself. I don't care about hip hop and all of that. I'm a rapper. I'm just rapping. You know what I mean? To me, hip hop is being yourself, doing your own thing. I ain't trying to bring 1970 back. I'm trying to do it.
Around the time that Tupac got out of jail, Sean Puffy Combs was about to become, I would say, the East Coast version of Suge Knight with Bad Boy Records. You know, his first big artist was the Notorious B.I.G.
This bullshit about the East Coast and the West Coast started when we went out to New York to do the Source Awards. And Mr. Knight went on stage, and he's in New York City, and we all know Puffy's from New York City.
Any artists out there want to be an artist and want to stay a star, you don't want to have to worry about the executive producer trying to be all in the videos, all on the record, dancing. Come to Death Row.
I mean, the whole crowd started booing, and then I thought to myself, like, why would you do that?
The East Coast don't love Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. The East Coast ain't got no love for Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and Death Row. Y'all don't love us. Y'all don't love us. Well, let it be known then. We know y'all East Coast. We know we at East Coast and F. I'm the executive producer that a comment was made about a little bit earlier. But check this out. Contrary to what other people may feel, I would like to say that I'm very proud of Dr. Dre, of Death Row, and Suge Knight for their accomplishments. And all this East and West that needs to stop.
It was so personal. Puffy was a good friend of mine.
There's enough room in this business for two young black males who are entrepreneurs to exist. I mean, can you imagine if Al Bell and Berry Gordy were fighting, or if the Temptations had beef with the Four Tops? I mean, it sounds fucking retarded when you think about it. You know, the Four Tops got beef with the Temptations. Marvin Gaye and Smokey Robinson were fighting at the Grammy Awards last night. I mean, think about that for a second.
A lot of people on the West Coast felt that we have always had love for the East Coast. You know, they can come here and break their records. They come here and play at the clubs. You know, they come do in-stores. We do the whole nine with them East Coast cats. And we go out there and we don't get that same love.
I remember New York DJs at parties refusing to play West Coast records. They country, they're Bamas, they wear jerry curls, they can't rhyme, they're whack, it's not danceable.
It was the media that blew it up, you know. You're seeing certain things that somebody said highlighted in magazines about the West Coast and vice versa, and it just boiled over from there.
All these people talking about an East Coast, West Coast war, they like the Judas was to Jesus. They only here to cause confusion.
It made rap music look bad. It made rap music look like it's just another part of the dope game.
Controversy is what Death Row started living off of, instead of talent.
If this was chess, we'd be yelling checkmate 3 motherfucking years ago, because we've been beat these motherfuckers.
Then the disrespect just started getting worse and worse between the West Coast in the East Coast.
Overthrow the government y'all got right now, which is Bad Boy and Nas and all that bullshit, and we will bring a new government here that will feed every person in New York.
And then you had the Tupac and Big situation, you know, flaming it even more.
I possess his soul, his and Puppy. They know that I was the truest nigga involved with Biggie's success. I was the biggest help. I was the truest nigga. I don't write his rhymes, but he know how much he borrowed from me. He know how I used to stop my shows and let him touch the show. Let him blow up and do his whole show in the middle of my show. How I used to buy him shit and give him shit and never ask for it back. How I used to share. How I used to share my experiences in the game and my lessons and my rules and my knowledge on the game with him. You know what I mean? He owed me more. He owed me more than to turn his head and act like he didn't know niggas was about to blow my fucking head off. He knew. But for me to know, like, 3 weeks ago this happened, and then 3 weeks later your album's coming out, and you are fucking done in your album. But you don't know who shot me in your fucking hometown. This nigga's from your neighborhood, and I gotta find out by myself. And I don't even call myself a Don, I'm just a capo from the west side. And I'm on the east side in jail, and I know who touched me, and I know everything that happened.
Tupac was wrong in blaming whoever the individual figures were who actually had something to do with it in New York, and making it into this whole New York City thing and then this East Coast, West Coast thing. And I think that he definitely had someone in his ear, probably Suge, exacerbating it. It sells records. It continues to get media attention, which sells more records.
Tupac had claimed to have gone out with Biggie's wife, Faith Evans. This was a great humiliation, reportedly, for Biggie. It was all over.
We were in Manhattan shooting a video. Biggie Smalls had gotten on the radio station, and Biggie said that I cannot believe that New York is allowing Tupac and the Dog Pound to shoot a video in our city right in the heart of Times Square. The words out of Biggie's mouth was Tupac and the Dog Pound, and it wasn't. It was Snoop and the Dog Pound. Tupac was not with us. Snoop at the time was having his hair braided, and all of the artists was in the trailer. And then all of a sudden, gunfire. Someone shot into the trailer. They weren't shooting in there to say, you know, get out. They were shooting there to kill someone.
There was a shift in Tupac Shakur's lyrical content. He, at first, was more political, then at some point he became more street. It was West Coast versus East Coast.
The person at Rikers Island was very reflective, and he's going to change his life and everything. This new person was like, fuck New York, fuck the East Coast. Sugar's the man, he takes care of me, he's flashing money in front of the MTV cameras. It was like, wow, it was Jekyll and Hyde.
One of the songs was a song called Hit 'Em Up. It talked about killing the Bad Boy camp, you know, different artists. There was a lot of threats. I go, Pac, I go, did you hear what you said? He was like, yeah, nigga, I wrote it. Okay, we're gonna need some more security, and you need to start wearing a vest.
I would tell each and every person out there, don't forget about that clicking up thing, you know what I mean? Be to yourself, stay to yourself, trust nobody. Trust nobody. After dog. You know what I mean? Straight up. My closest friends did me in. My closest friends, my homies, people who I done took care of their whole family. I done took care of everything for them, looked out for them, put them in the game, everything. Turned on me. Fear is stronger than love. Remember that. Fear is stronger than love. All the love I gave didn't mean nothing when it came to fear. So it's all good. But I'm a soldier, I always survive. I'll constantly come back. You know what I mean? Only thing that can kill me is death. That's the only thing that'll ever stop me is death. And even then, my music will live forever.
Central, I got a black male shot at 48 and 7.
5 times, if that wasn't insult to injury. Even though Pac was shot 5 times, and that was definitely an orchestrated hit, and we'll get to that later, Pac seemed to still go to the left instead of go to the right. You see, Pac lived most of his life in the studios, but Pac was the type of guy that everybody loved to hate. So no matter where he went, he still finds himself in lots of trouble.
Rapper, actor, and sex abuse convict Tupac Shakur walked out of a New York jail last week, bailed out to the tune of $1.4 million by Suge Knight of Death Row Records, which has signed Shakur to a record deal.
Tupac made the worst mistake of his life to team up with Suge Knight. Now don't get it twisted. Tupac already agreed to the oath of the Baphomet when he signed with Jimmy Iovine on Interscope, because that's the only way you're going to get a deal. Seen in this picture, you can see Suge throwing up the Baphomet. That's how Suge get down. That's how Suge get paid. Suge Knight encouraged Tupac to keep this East Coast West Coast thing going because it was good for the money. But when the blood started spilling on Tupac's hand, Tupac got a little bit discouraged.
And the East Coast West Coast thing is something that the journalists and people are making up just to get paid off it so it can drag out and everybody can have albums. They're perpetuating it so it could be drama. When it all go down, don't look at me and Biggie and be like, why is there a big East Coast West Coast war when you're shooting this to 300 homes, 300 countries, telling them about an East Coast West Coast war that they would never know exists. So that's where information becomes a problem.
Take a close look at Snoop Dogg, because in days to come, Snoop knows that something's going to happen to Tupac.
And the East Coast West Coast thing is something that the journalists and people are making up just to get paid off it so it can drag out and everybody can have albums. They're perpetuating it so it could be drama. When it all go down, don't look at me and Biggie and be like, why is there a big East Coast West Coast war when you're shooting this to 300 homes, 300 countries, telling them about an East Coast West Coast war that they would never know exists. So that's where information becomes a problem.
Snoop knows Tupac's life is in danger days before his death. Now, Suge had love for all those guys, but he had the most love for Tupac. So he didn't care if Dr. Dre left or Snoop Dogg. His main concern was Tupac. Suge had a look on his face that he knew something was getting ready to go down. There was no doubt that Suge Knight orchestrated the hit on Pac. Now I want to go back to the first hit that took place in New York with Biggie and Puff Daddy.
The Tupac article had me pissed off, you know what I'm saying? Because first of all, he dissed my man, said my man turned his back on him, and I know for a fact that didn't happen, you know what I'm saying? And like the rumors that's spreading is on some tip like we set him up, you know what I'm saying? And that's crazy.
Puff Biggie knew exactly who shot Pac. I want you to take a close look at Puff Daddy's reaction. He's guilty as hell.
The Tupac article had me pissed off, you know what I'm saying? Because first of all, he dissed my man, said my man turned his back on him, and I know for a fact that didn't happen, you know what I'm saying? And like the rumors that's spreading is on some tip like we set him up. You know what I'm saying? And that's crazy.
I know what good morals are, but you're supposed to disregard good morals when you're living in a crazy, bad world. If you're in hell, how can you live like an angel? You're sitting here surrounded by devils and you're trying to be an angel? That's like suicide.
The rapper paints young black men as victims and blames much of their plight on others. So I wondered how he dealt with the fact young black men are killing each other in record numbers.
That's suicide. That ain't homicide. That's suicide. We killing each other because we killing ourselves. We not. When another man, I know, I've been in a position. It's out of our control. It's not like he wants to kill. He just doesn't want to die. You know what I'm saying? It's that situation when you got. We are living in a war zone. It's not as easy as these people are making us think, that they just got some criminal-ass black kids with guns. It is not like that. We live in hell. We live in the gutter. We got us stacked up 80 deep in one building. You know, by the time you get out your house, you strapped to protect yourself. Because you're living in the same community that the police is carrying rifles and riot gear. They need them riot, excuse my language, I'm so sorry. The same reasons they need the riot hat, the riot jacket, the flak jacket, the double vest, the 9mm Glocks with extra bullets, the tear gas, the mace, all that. Who do you think the police is using that against? Dogs? Niggas. We fighting the same villains that they fight in the street. But instead of them seeing us fighting villains in the street, we all villains.
Is your generation the one that is picking up for where the Panthers left off, saying, all right, enough is enough? The generation before us forgot about the fight. We're picking it back up.
Not only forgot about the fight, forgot about us. Yes, and we're picking it back up. But at this level, all we're trying to do is unite. And right now, as a year, we got 1 million people that's listening. Now we can tell them something. Now we can try to get them that way, and we might lose some. We might gain some, but we would never even have that audience had we not said what was real. You know what I'm saying? And the main thing for us to remember is that the same crime element that white people are scared of, black people are scared of. The same crime element that white people fear, we fear. So we defend ourselves from the same crime element that they scared of. You know what I'm saying? While they waiting for legislation to pass and everything, we next door to the killer. We next door to him, you know, because we up in projects where it's 80 niggas in a building. All them killers that they letting out, they right there in that building. But it's better, just because we black, we get along with the killers or something? We get along with the rapists because we black and we from the same hood? What is that? We need protection too.
Staring at the world through my rear view. Scream to God, he can't hear you. Heart beating fast, time to die. Watch the time fly. Staring at the world through my rear view. Scream to God, he can't hear you. Heart beating fast, time to die. Watch the time fly.
Whoa.
Just after the Mike Tyson-Bruce Seldon fight, Shakur, along with record company executive Marion Suge Knight, headed for a nightclub. But while stopping at this intersection, a car with 4 people pulled up and opened fire on Shakur and Knight.
Tupac Shakur was shot several times in the chest.
Revenge is like the sweetest joy next to getting pussy. Picture paragraphs unloaded, wise words being quoted. Beat the weakness in the rap game and so that nigga bow down, pray to God, hoping that it's listening. See niggas coming for me, my diamonds and they glisten. Now pay attention, best man, peace, father. I'm a ghost, killing fields, Hail Mary. That's my go deep inside the solitary mind of a madman. Scream, the dark, evil lurks, enemies, city fleas. Activate my hate, let it break till I'm flaming. Section, empty out my clip, never stop to aim. Some say the game is all corrupted, fuck this shit. Stuck, niggas is lucky if we bust out this shit. Plus, mama told me never stop until I bust a nut. Fuck the world if they can't just. It's just this way, okay, come with me. Hail Mary, nigga, run quick, see what you be having now. Do you wanna ride or die? La 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 la. Come with me. Hail Mary, nigga, run quick, see what do we have here now. Do you wanna ride or die? La 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 la.
These days, motherfuckers better watch they back and take it easy. I'm living in the danger zone and learning lessons from the game. And some niggas was gone when the frame was on. I'm getting threatened and called dead. Said ghetto in the. But if we good, it's a hood thing. And now I'm like a major threat, cause I remind you of the things you were made to forget. Bring your noise to all my boys, they let the breaks. Still me till they feel me. I love it when they fear me. Holler to hear me.
The essence of power is in the people and politics we address. Always difference. Politicians and hypocrites, they don't wanna listen. If I'm insane, now I'm the last motherfucker breathe. Woke up with 50 enemies plotting my death. All 50 seeing visions of me shot in the chest. Couldn't rest, nah, nigga, I was stressed. Had me creeping round corners, homie sleeping in my vest. Shit, I'm like a hostage. This wicked land underhanded hits a play. Scams of plotted over grams of rocks, and undercover agents die by the random shot.
Tupac Shakur was beginning to emerge as a Hollywood star, but the star would never quite rise to its pinnacle. He would fall from grace after a concert here in 1993, when a fan would accuse him of sexually abusing her in a Manhattan hotel room. A year after he was convicted of that crime, a gunman shot the rap star 5 times while he was awaiting sentencing. Shakur went on to serve 8 months in an upstate facility on the sex abuse conviction. The events opened Shakur to criticism for glorifying a gangster lifestyle and the violence that can accompany it. But the Reverend Al Sharpton, who met Shakur in prison, says his death is not a reflection of rap, but rather of life in general.
Clearly to give the image that they were just gangsters and got what was coming to them is unhealthy, unnecessary, and untrue.
Sharpton also downplayed the notion that Shakur was killed in a rap war, but the circumstances of the shooting have questions swirling on the street. The gunman opened up on Shakur's side of the car that was one in a 10-car convoy. And industry experts believe Shakur's death will increase the sales and value of the rap star's songs and movies, some yet to even be released.
This rap game is just a conductor to what we really want to do. They feel that way. Control the world. Small thing, just one thing. We just want to control the world. And when I say world, I mean our world. I think, like my life is my world and your life is your world. You know what I mean? So I mean, when we say control the world, I mean like controlling our own world where at least we can have like movie theaters and stores and a community. We don't even have a community. They got little Italy, little everything. They don't have a little Africa. They got the ghetto. And we think that that's ours. That's not even ours. That's just what was left over. No doubt.
my homeboy been saying fuck the world for 10 years. Ain't nobody never said shit. As soon as I said fuck the world want to start tripping. So that's where I'm twisted at. You understand what I'm saying? It's like I don't understand. Big Bill Clinton could peel his dick out and don't nobody say shit. Tupac peel my dick out, everybody want to put me in jail. I don't understand. It's not the same rules. We all have to follow the same rules. The rules have to apply to every man, woman, and child. It cannot be just for the rich or for the poor. If it is, there's going to be war. And that's what Thug Life is about. I'm showing you that when you oppress a people, all we gonna do is blow up in your face. If you put gasoline in the bottle and put a match to it, it's gonna blow up. A whole bunch of glass is gonna spurt. It's gonna be blood everywhere. It's gonna be bad scenes in the victims. We don't want that. We don't want that. That's why we're rapping and we're not in the bushes sniping motherfuckers. So we're not what they're making us to be. You know what I'm saying? We are the griots. We're storytellers. We're coming first. We're telling you the news. You know what I'm saying? We like the three wise men coming through this. We like the seventh sign. We bringing news of the apocalypse. It's coming.
And try not to die as I take you through a ghetto nigga's lullaby. On the corner, fuck where my niggas live. The death of a true thug. Tell me when my niggas moan. The death of a true thug. A man of military means. My artillery watching over me through every murder scene. Making journey through my mind's eye. You close the game, don't explain, nigga, time to die. Say goodbye, watch my eyes when I pull the trigger. So right before you die, you bow before a bigger nigga. Now dry your eyes, you was heartless on your hits. Niggas love to scream peace after they start some shit. Pay attention, here's a word to those that rob me. I murder you, then I run a train on my deep. Don't fuck with me, nigga, you barely living. Don't you got sickle cell? See me have a seizure on stage, you ain't feeling well, hell. How many niggas wanna be involved? See, I was only talking to Biggie, but I'll kill all of y'all. Then boom, then tell the brat to keep her mouth closed. Fuck around and get tossed up by the fucking outlaws. Before I leave, make sure everybody heard. Yo, I meant every motherfucking word when we ride. And if I enemies, the death of a true thug. Tell me when my niggas smoke. The death of a true thug. Still, we try to change the past in vain. Never knowing if this game will last. Feeling the shame. And if I die by slug, the death of a true thug. Tell me when my niggas smoke. The death of a true thug. A man of
coming to grips with my past. It was hard. I don't feel like what I did was so evil. I just feel like the way I was living and my mentality was a part of my progression to be a man. But you grow, we all grow. We're made to grow. You either evolve or you disappear. I don't want to be forgotten. I'll always be a troublemaker to some people. But I still get love from my community.
I got love for my brothers, but we can never go nowhere unless we share with each other. We gotta start making changes. Learn to see me as a brother instead of two distant strangers.
I owe them everything. That's what I owe everything, to the hood. I got love there. I got love from thugs and the street dudes. And that kind of focuses me back on what I should be doing. Lay out the real map on the world and how it is. The message is, young black males can do anything if you just give us a shot. Stop trying to beat us down. And to my homeboys, we need to be in control of ourselves. I'm not saying I'm gonna change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. So keep your head up. Do what you gotta do. And then inside of you, I'll be reborn.